Hello, everyone. It's now 9:01 p.m. I don't care what nobody says, but what I did today was work. Okay? Who says that you must have someone over you and it be a 9 to 5 in order for it to be considered as work? Even people in the so-called TI community act like they expect me to go get a real job to where I can be under the control and abuse of a narcissistic, fake, tyrant employer. So, so my blogs, it's more like a personal thing. So I really don't expect at all, excuse me, to be paid for my personal, that I guess open, personal, open online diaries on my blog. So, but that's just personal for me. But I was attempting to try to have a money making opportunity with the short stories, as a side hustle to make a living. But the fact that the perps tell everybody stay away from me, that smear campaign lie on me, and fake TI perps as well, they work harder than the regular perps at trying to do it. So, I'm sitting here thinking that what if everybody in the TI community supported and liked each other, and if there weren't any leaven, or infiltrators, perp infiltrators or sellouts, then a hell of a lot more of us could be doing better. Seriously. We all could have way more subscribers, likes, comments, support, and donating to each other. But that's why I say it's bullshit for professed targeted individuals be running around here talking about being chosen ones. And how you call yourself chosen and you don't even have any godly discernment? So, yeah. It's like so many people under strong delusion and heavy deception. And they delude themselves. They really deceive and delude themselves. So, if I hadn't lost the support that I have, then my writing itself could make lots more money than me having to resort to last resort to have to beg and panhandle. But the regular perps and the fake TI perps, they start that right quick. Anything I'm trying to accomplish, and they shut it down. If I get a boyfriend, they get him compromised. If I get a friend, they get the friend compromised. If I get a job, they run me off the job, either force me to quit or make up, or if I'm, if I stick with the job and they can't get me to quit, then they'll make up a lie for an excuse to justify wrongfully firing me and having me banned for the rest of my life. So I mean, y'all know how it is. I'm disabled with certain limitations, and I was disabled even before being targeted. I was disabled from a child, in special ed and everything. I mean, I had all these medical problems growing up. So if I tell somebody that I cannot work in a warehouse position, they think I'm making excuses and full of shit. But I had 2 strokes when I was 5. So, and I had some other things like, but y'all would condemn me saying I'm telling all my business if I let y'all know just about all my ailments that I have. You know, I don't even know. My twin sister was the one who told me that we were considered born crack babies. That somehow Sean and Wyatt, me and my twin sister and Derek were supposedly crack babies. But that could have been false rumors that the foster family smear campaigned the biological mom and falsely accused her of neglect. I don't know if it was true or false with the neglect. But the biological family members, they all, we've been taken away in batches. Like, I heard that Ramona and Belinda and them were in foster care too. They're the oldest. So why they look down on us for being in foster care? And so for some odd reason, they do not accept me and my twin sister. And then the foster family brainwashed me and my twin sister to not be close. So the family seems like if it's family or not, even with the rest of the family or even my twin sister. I'm here in Texas and forbidden and not allowed to go around my twin sister, my biological brother Derek. Like, they don't want me around. They don't want to know me ever again in life. And Mark and my cousin Hor, Rebecca, and everybody else have, told me, we don't want you around, or you're not wanted, you're unwanted, and, I don't ever want to know you again, or I don't want anything to do with you ever again in life. And so, they're selfish and they're all into themselves, but all the grown adults in the family are perps. The only one that's least likely in the adults that may not be a perp is the biological nephew, Josh. But I'm confused though, because a lot of people say that that's Belinda's son, Josh. Well, Josh is always calling everybody negative. I think he's a narcissistic abuser with that. But that's my doggone nephew. So, he's one of the nephews that's older than me. So, Josh, I heard that he had some incident that people would have thought was a mental breakdown or something. But some people say that, if Josh is supposed to be a Christian, I don't know what the hell he's doing, that he's sitting there having episodes of becoming demon possessed. Like my biological other nephew, Ramona's son, Raymond said that there was this incident where Josh was standing over him. I don't know if he said Josh was standing over him with a knife, or I don't even remember what was going on. But they said that Josh was on drugs, but I don't know if he got clean from drugs or whatever. Hell, what if Josh might be a targeted individual? I don't even know. But they try to make it like it was the talk of the family, that Josh was, you know, violated as a child, and that he supposedly was on drugs, and um, they try to make like he's schizophrenic and crazy. So but the biological mom, Frances, like when we got turned to her after we turned 18, the biological mom wasn't on, like she wasn't doing crack or that other stuff. I mean, she did overdose on prescribed medications, but I never saw her take illegal drugs, and she didn't really drink alcohol that much. But the biological mom's sister, my aunt Yvonne, drunk lady Yvonne, her and her husband, alcoholics. Daryl died. Her husband Daryl died of prostate cancer, and the biological dad Arthur did too. And so I think I heard that Arthur was an alcoholic, as like a badass alcoholic. So like I heard that the biological dad Arthur, when Arthur he had like a bad motorcycle incident or something like that. And ever since then, I heard he stopped driving, and he stopped riding motorcycles. He nearly died. That man nearly died so many times, but he lived to be 82 freaking years old. And he wasn't, I mean, everybody broke their neck to glorify him because he's light skinned. He was light skinned and Creole and old and everything like that. But the man was, Arthur was a man hag, a bitch. Seriously. You know, and I had to wake up to the truth. Whoa. Yeah, I had to wake up to the truth. You know, just like the foster grandma Mildred Collins. Well, they waited till after she died to praise her as such a good woman and whatever. But I remember her abusing me when I was 3 and 4 years old. Like physical abuse. Foster grandma Mildred Collins. But Arthur was alive, and the biological mom Frances used to like physically block us from going into the room and trying to get close to him and talk to him and stuff like that. Like, I don't know what secrets she was hiding. But the family, even the adults in the family, was so damn immature, childish, and just weird. And yeah, the biological family is, you know, incestuous, sick, and weird. And I'm glad I'm not around them. And that ain't my fault. That's them. So I'm away from them like they want. They don't want me around anyway. So, yeah, it's uncomfortable and embarrassing, the things that they do. And my family, they ain't nothing but, you know, they be trying to set you up for a lifetime of irreparable destruction. It's like, why would you do this to your own birth relatives? Because they're mentally off, slow, and retarded and reprobate. But they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So the family, they're weird as fuck. So I can't be around. I mean, I don't know if I would be in jail, dead, or institutionalized, fucking around with my own family, targeted or not, because I'm the doggone black sheep scapegoat, and they're just looking for an opportunity for a setup, and a brutal setup. So it's best that I stay away. But, you know, the health issues, you know, I had growing up, I don't even know if they falsely smear campaigned the biological mom Frances as a crackhead and said that she neglected us. Because the foster mom, that sounds like lies that the foster mom and sister Mickey would make. And the biological mom, Frances, I guess she tried to tell us, and we were still stiff-necked and brainwashed. So let me tell you this. The foster mom, Adrian Felder, who they call Ann, she said that the biological mom, Frances, used to lock us up in a clothes drawer, and then when we cried, she'd shut it. And we believed that. I guess it was a lie. Believed that for years. The foster mom drilled that into our heads. And then when we confronted the biological mom, Frances, about it, she said that wasn't true. She said basically she was extremely poor and could not afford like a bassinet or a baby bed or whatever. Down. This is quite painful though. So she was saying that she can't she was saying that, excuse me, it's like I'm trying to fight back the verge of crying. But I feel like I got to get this out though. So she was saying that, you know, that she was too poor and couldn't afford a regular normal bed. And so she used a clothes drawer as a bed for us. And she said that, you know, she tried to put a blanket or something, you know, that she tried to put a blanket down there, you know, over the clothes drawer, I guess. That's what the biological mom, Frances, told me when we were 18. And it's like we still didn't believe her. But now I feel like this woman she wasn't. I mean, she did tell a lot of lies, though. But she probably wasn't lying about that. So, and the biological brother, Fake Krusty Pete, author Artificial Junior, author Grand Prix Artificial Junior, because he definitely can't be the biological dad author's child. But he's named after him, though. So, it's so much confusion because the biological parents, they were having like off and on, getting back together and leaving and getting back together and leaving for so many years, and they had so many kids. And some of the kids supposedly wasn't for him, the biological dad author. So that's why we range from black as tar to white like chalk. And that's also part of us being Creole as well. So, well, Pete, like, if he's an abusive, narcissistic liar, and he's worse than a narc, I mean, I think Fake Krusty Pete is a straight up psychopath. Straight up psychopath. And society respects him. They don't hate Pete. And if they do, they're whispering behind his back behind closed doors, and they're scared of him. Sean would always talk about being scared of Pete. So it was the talk of the family that they said that Pete was 14 years old And he made up a lie on the biological mom, Frances, for I don't know what they were feuding or arguing about. And they said that the biological brother, Pete, lied on the biological mom, Frances, and that's the reason why we got taken away and put in foster care. And he probably was experimenting with the occult back then. And what made him so evil. He was part of the fake Jehovah's Witnesses cult, and him and that first wife, Rhonda. But, Rhonda divorced him and got with another husband and was much happier, I heard. But Pete was doing cruel stuff. Like, I heard that he took a piece of wood with nails and smashed it into Rhonda's back and nearly killed her. And he had brutally abused her. And he has not stopped physically abusing and beating all women, because as of about almost 7 years ago, when I was by his house, that girlfriend, Willie Mae, he was beating and slapping her around. But the talk of the family, they said that Pete, Arthur Artificial Grand Prix Jr., not the real genetic biological Arthur Grand Prix, but the family don't talk about that. Arthur is allowed to call Pete dad. I'm sorry, Pete is allowed to call Arthur dad, but we're not allowed to. The way they fuck with our heads like that. So, they said that Pete was the one who got it, and the family don't like to talk about it. They probably got signed non-disclosure agreements and probably couldn't tell us that, hey, we signed a non-disclosure agreement and can't talk about it. And so the biological family members didn't like me and Sean telling people about the abuse that we even went through in foster care. So, now there was a lady in Los Angeles. I told her about what was going on when I was in Los Angeles. I think it was after the biological mom, Frances, passed away. And she said that was a common thing amongst poor black families, that if you couldn't afford, an actual bassinet or a baby bed, then they would use a clothes drawer. And they would, I guess, I don't know if they used a pillow or a blanket and put you in there. But the biological mom, Frances, she tried to tell me, I guess, and I was stubbornly brainwashed. And she's like, girl, if I did that to you, you would be dead as a doornail. You heard me? She said, if I did that to you, you would be dead as a doornail. You heard me? But I feel terrible that the foster mom brainwashed us to hate the biological family. And especially the main attack was the biological mom, Frances, which resorted in me being like abusive towards the biological mom, Frances. And after I found out the truth, and it's like, I'm feeling really bad about it. And I was a I wasn't a child, but I was a very young adult. But I would say I was a young ass kid at the time. So, we were forbidden and not allowed to ask questions. Curious about a lot of things, And even, they would get mad and ask what race we were mixed with. Come to find out we're Creole. Freaking Creole. So, the biological mom, Frances, doesn't identify with being Creole, but she was supposedly black. When she was alive, she was supposedly black with a lot of Native American. And then the biological dad, Arthur. Now, I don't know if he was black, Native American, and French, or if he was just simply French and Native American. But he didn't look black at all. But the 1940 U.S. Census said he was 8 years old, and he was identified as Negro. But his relatives, they look nothing like a Negro. Straight up look like Native Americans and white people. Arthur straight up looked foreign when he was alive. He looked like you couldn't tell if he was Mexican, Italian, or Chinese. He looked like a blend of both. And he looked very Native American. But he had some of his sisters that looked kind of more white. Like especially my Aunt Carolyn. I tried to get close to her. And she joined the fake Jehovah's Witnesses cult. I think fake Krusty Pete got her in that cult. And so she cut off all contact with me. And then sometime later on, she got hateful and blocked my number and cut off all contact with me. And then sometime later on, I saw her on one of those buses in New Orleans. If it wasn't the Claiborne bus, it was the Broad bus or something like that. And she treated me like a narcissistic, control freak, fake friend. But before then, she used to be cool and nice. I went to her house like a couple of times. But Ramona would try to control, restrict, and stop me from going over there. But one time, me being an adult and have to sneak and do things behind my abusive, narcissistic siblings' back, including my twin sister. So, but they make it like it's some crime for me to get familiar with Arthur and his side of the family. Ramona even blocked me from trying to get to know the biological mom Frances' side of the family. Like, I guess I will die never getting to contact my Aunt Lisa, Aunt Betty Dyson, and Aunt Lisa May, Aunt Betty Dyson, and Uncle Wallace May. Uncle Carl May. I think that's his name, Carl May. But the grandpa, the so-called Native American pedophile, I heard that he raped my biological sister Belinda and got her pregnant and forced her to get an abortion, and that's why she was like 12, 13 or something like that. And even after that, I don't know, she must have got with a different guy because I don't know who my nephew John's dad is, but I heard who Josh's dad is. And Josh's dad, Kevin, I heard he got shot and killed in the 70s. And I don't remember if he got shot and killed by the police or what. But I heard that Ramona supposedly was the setup and the mastermind behind him. I don't know. It's family rumors, family stuff I heard, But but anyway, it's like, so I don't believe that my biological mom Frances was actually a crackhead. Like the foster family and the fake social workers had it in records. That the biological mom Frances was abusing both street drugs, recreational drugs, and pharmaceutical drugs. But I don't believe the biological mom Frances was a doggone crackhead. But the biological family members say that the biological mom Frances was normal, and she had us in Baptist. And then when we would like a lot of us siblings have been in foster care, so I don't even know if she must have had, like, after having us, she must have been like, oh no, not again, So they said that she was considered normal, but they said that she made they said that she they said she was normal, but then lost her mind once we got taken away. And they said that's when her mind, she started to mentally spiral down. But I didn't find out till some years later that they said that guns were drawn and that, that SWAT team came and came to get us. And I'm like, why y'all want to keep this secret from us? And they don't want to talk about it. So now, I don't know if it was the biological mom Frances delusion or if it was real. But why she ain't famous in New Orleans history, if they try to say that she was the first black woman in New Orleans to ever have a job or something like that. But they try to say that she was, but I don't go by that schizophrenic, with all that, but it was highly suspected that it was the strong family rumor saying that the biological mom Frances was practicing witchcraft and voodoo. And the same thing with the foster mom Adrian Felder, and the biological sister Ramona and the biological gay brother Mark, and I think Pete too, and Derek as well. I heard rumors that so many of my family members would practice voodoo witchcraft. So I never in my life practiced witchcraft, not intentionally or willfully or knowingly, and I never cast any spells on anybody. I don't know how, and I don't have any interest in learning how. So so yeah, they try to say that she was the first black woman in New Orleans to ever have a job or be employed. And I'm like, well, she didn't make New Orleans. Where's her famous New Orleans history? I mean, her making history, a famous New Orleanian, But as I said, I don't know. But if there was any so-called mental illness, then it come from, being demon possessed or that voodoo witchcraft or whatever. So the biological mom Frances, when she was alive, her and Ramona and Mark, well, I don't know about Ramona, but Mark, they would burn incense. And they would burn incense, and they would they would burn incense. And the biological mom Frances, she used to buy those oils and incense and candles or whatever that people would sell on Canal Street in New Orleans. So she was big on buying those. But yeah, I didn't realize that supposed Rastafarian, or however you pronounce it, I didn't realize that they must practice some kind of Caribbean. I may be ignorant to that, but they might practice some kind of voodoo. The people who sell the shea butter and all that, and the soap, the shea butter and soaps and stuff like that. They also sell the candles, oils, incense, and all that. And it's like, well, I gotta be careful because I don't want to be buying voodoo soap or nothing like that, or eat voodoo food. So I mean, but anyway, back to the health situation. So speaking on my health, with my health, I was, if they said we were born crackheads, but there's really no proof to that. But the earliest of any kind of disability besides that, they said that we were born cross-eyed. Me and my twin sister, they said we were born cross-eyed. I don't know about all of her health problems, but I'll tell y'all about mine. And so they said I had a heart murmur when I was 2. She didn't have a heart murmur when she was 2. They said I had like an ear infection so bad that they thought I was deaf. and that I could have died from a badass ear infection when I was 2. And so, I suffered lots of abuse as a child. Now, if I had all these heart murmurs, ear infections, and all, maybe the foster family was neglecting and not taking doggone care of me. So the foster mom did neglect and abuse us. Both neglected and abused us. So I hear other people's stories, and it sounds unbearably way worse than what we went through, and I'm like, damn. But I hate when people try to minimize your situation and throw in your face that it could have always been 10 times worse. Or you should stop being so negative and stop dwelling on the past and just be grateful and be thankful that you're here and alive, and that God bless you and this and whatever. So I was 3 years old and experienced a lot of physical abuse, all under the name of them saying I'm a badass child. Got a lot of whippings, beatings, belt whippings, punch, hit, whatever, physical assault. I don't remember being sexually abused, but some people say that with the programming, you'd be so young you don't remember. But as I said, in the fake IDMR call, I never heard any molestation stories from kids or even the adult survivors who got out of that weird shit. So, after that, I remember as young as 3 years old, the abuses that I went through, the foster mom forcing us to, I don't know about my twin sister, but I remember myself on numerous occasions being forced to eat soggy cornflakes, stand on my knees for hours, like 6 hours, and eat soggy cornflakes or Raisin Bran out of the garbage can. And still to this day, I will not eat cornflakes or Raisin Bran. I'll eat Frosted Flakes, but not no cornflakes. And so then also, I remember more than once. It was once, I don't vividly remember, but I remember once or twice or a couple of times being forced to sleep outside at 3 years old. My twin sister says she remembers that too, but us. And we had a strange childhood, like a lot of witchcraft, some weird stuff in that foster home. I remember having lots of nightmares growing up. Waking up with bruises on my legs and arms, wherever else on my body. I would be 4 years old and wake up with bloody noses for I don't know what reason. Wake up with bloody noses, or wake up with bruises, or wake up with cat scratches on my leg. Deep cat scratches. Because the foster mom used to have an evil, demon-possessed cat named Tom that was gray. And then she got another cat. And the Tom died, and she got another cat named Tom. They were same doggone evil doggone cat. They would always scratch your legs up at night. So I remember they had this doll. I had the Fat Albert doll. My twin sister had the Bill Cosby doll. I used to be tormented, traumatized, and terrorized by that Bill Cosby doll. And so I shaved the doll's hair off. And I got in big trouble for it, And so also, I remember a time or two, I think it happened more than once, when I set the garbage can on fire. I felt bad. Like I was a child, I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't realize this was an effect of the abuse happening to me. I already mentioned before, I feel very terrible that I didn't know any better, and I was 3 years old, and I killed the foster sister Joni's rabbit. But that was the only animal I ever killed, but I didn't know what I was doing. And the abusive, narcissistic, fake perps would hold that, they would use that against me. But, They tried to lie on me and said that I bragged about it and didn't feel any remorse, which wasn't true. So I kept throwing the rabbit, and and then the rabbit's nose was bleeding, and I didn't understand what was going on. And so I just kept on throwing it. I didn't understand that I was hurting the rabbit and that it could have died. But I was 5 years old in kindergarten, and I would go to school in the same red and white striped outfit. Something about that outfit, every time I wore it, it always made my stomach hurt. And I used to cry, and they used to drag me and force me to go to school. Used to give me the worst stomach pains of my life, and I was sick a lot when I was a kid. I had eye surgery when I was 5, and I had nose surgery at 10 and also 11. When I was in first grade, I was climbing on these, I don't know if you call it beehive, or some kind of beehive looking monkey bars. And I was hanging upside down like I usually would do. And I fell. I don't even remember falling. And I fell and was knocked out. And then my lip was all swollen. My mouth was bleeding. I think I lost some teeth and everything. And I had to go to the dentist like immediately and later on that day. But it seemed like, I don't know if I was lost or missing. The teachers were looking around for me. And then later on they saw me. But I already told y'all also when in kindergarten, the teachers used to lock us up in small janitorial closets, falsely saying that we're bad and they want to correct our behavior. And I was 3 years old the first time I remember Mark physically hit me. Like the foster family, like if you're 2 years old and being potty trained and you piss or shit on yourself, they will give you the worst ass whooping. I remember the foster sister April whipping me really bad when I was 2 years old. And I didn't realize she wasn't too far from childhood herself. She probably was 17, 18, 19, Oh, no, she was younger than that. I think she was a teenager. But how I was 3, 4, 5 years old and the foster mom, her biological kids were allowed to whip us. But when I became an adult, I wasn't allowed to put my hands on the foster boys if they were 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. The foster mom turned the tables and said that they had every right to beat my ass. So, I had eye surgery. They said me and my twin sister had the surgery first. We were 4 years old. Both me and my twin sister had to take speech therapy being little, like 2, 3, 4 years old. And my twin sister, I think she had, for whatever reason, had braces on her legs. They said that we were both born premature and she had to stay in an incubator. But I don't remember how long, but they said I came home like a couple of days later. And they said that I was always the bigger, chunkier, and healthier one. And she was the small little runt. But they said that we were 5 months old. But I don't know if the foster family was over-exaggerating. But they said that we were 5 months old and that my twin sister used to climb up the that she used to climb up the shelves in the house. So the foster mom had all these African statues, like a lot of these African masks, statues, framing pictures. She had like a Sphinx statue downstairs in the downstairs den. She had a Sphinx, Egyptian Sphinx. And then upstairs, she in that living room, that after Al died, she didn't allow anybody to go in that room anymore. And she got more than half the house like off limits. So many rooms we weren't allowed to go in. But we would wait till she's gone. and then snoop through like school papers and all that, you know. So they had this statue of this man with curly hair. I don't remember what his name was, but it was a statue of a man that was totally nude, and he was uncircumcised. No, I don't remember if he was circumcised or uncircumcised, but that was out in the open for, we were kids, you know. But the foster mom also had a big, fat, huge statue of a black cat, a big, huge black cat. And I think they said that the foster brother Joe did something to Joni, like threw her or hit her or something, and caused there to be like a chip on a little statue. So I don't remember if I said it earlier, but me and my twin sister, when we were little, we used to levitate in the air, and I used to get a lot of sleep paralysis and what do you call it when you have when you go to sleep, and it's supposedly something spiritual, when you have a nightmare that you fell, and then you wake up like scared. Well, I had so many doggone nightmares growing up, like everything was a bad dream. But yeah, when me and my twin sister were little, we were babies, and we used to float in the air. We used to levitate in the air. And I heard that people said that it was powerful witchcraft being done on us when we were little. So the foster mom was that deeply in heaven, and whoever else was that deeply and heavily involved in the occult, voodoo, witchcraft, plus the fake IDMR cult, and I guess satanic ritual abuse. You know, the kindergarten teachers locking us up in small closets, and then we come home and lock us up in the hot laundry room. They always wanted to punish and lock us up, you know. And then by the time we were 6 and 7 years old, we used to accidentally lock ourselves in the bedroom. And the foster mom would leave us in the room for hours and force us to clean up. Never taught or showed us or helped us. She would just tell her, get my house clean. And then, you know, if it wasn't clean, then we got the most brutal ass whooping and got several whoopings a day. And it's like, she mainly wanted every Saturday, and have us cleaning up all day long. And then there was a point in time where they wanted us to be cleaning up every day. Like, as I said, the foster mom used us as cleanup slaves and gave us a petty allowance of $20 a month. A month. When I heard she was getting winter allowance and summer allowance and all this stuff that she was supposed to use on us, she used it for herself. Got rich. And then they tried to lie and say she wasn't making that much money off of us. Bullshit. How were you able to get a BMW? That big ass house. That big ass house wasn't even yours. They said that the foster dad, Al, left the Kraft family. See, they know all about it. So they said that big fat house, the 9-bedroom house, you know, that big fat house, that Al left that house to Joni, and Joni's supposed to be the true owner of that house. And Joni was getting $394 a month in Social Security checks, and from Al, you know, for survivors benefits from Al, just like I'm getting $910 a month for survivors benefits from Arthur Grand Prix, the biological dad. So yeah, the one who they want to say we don't belong to him because we ain't light skinned like him. Well, why am I getting Social Security benefits from a man who's supposedly not my dad? I got his last name too, and I have a lot of features like the biological Aunt Carolyn, And they would say that the biological niece Monica, that she looked just like us when we were little, and that her daughter Malia looked like me and my twin sister or something like that too. That's what they say. But they want to try everything that they could to force themselves to be artificially not related to me. And they can't help being genetically related to me. But they want to force themselves to not be related to me. Kick me out of the family. I'm wrongfully banned from the entire family forever because I'm targeted. And they make it like they don't want to forgive me or give me any second chances. But why forgive me and you're the one who wronged me? You did me dirty and then reverse it on me and lie and say I did you dirty. So I mean, I was 7 years old, started developing early, started developing fast, and in and out of the hospital, lots of doctor's appointments. And I remember could have been in second grade or third. I think I was 8 years old in third grade. I was 7 years old and I had both. I was 5 years old. I had chicken pox. I was 7 years old, and at different times, I think I had strep throat, and I also had scarlet fever. And I was 7 years old in second grade. In second grade, I remember being home alone a lot. I used to be suspended from school a lot from abusive, narcissistic teachers who would lie on me. And I wasn't nearly badly behaved as they over-exaggerated and made it look like. So then, I mean, we stayed at the doctor's, stayed in and out of the hospital. So I was 8 years old, and they had this procedure where the night before. No, was it the night before or earlier that day? I was forced to fast the night before, and then the next morning, like, drink up a whole bunch of water and hold my urine in. And while they do this ultrasound on me, I be feeling like a lot of these medical and dental procedures was traumatic for me. Even the dentists, they were freaking sadistic at Dr. Donaldson, Dr. Devereaux, and K. Donaldson Daniel, and all them, the dentists. And then let's see. What else? So I was, let's see, 10 years old. They put me on Prozac. And that was the time when everybody started calling me greedy, and I started gaining weight. And before then, I used to waste food, but not on purpose. I was a kid. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. If I was full, I was full. If the food was nasty, it was nasty. So, but I really believe that I was spiritually oppressed as a child, and probably the cult had something to do with it. And the MK Ultra, whatever mind control done on us. So, but they wanted to make us look crazy. So, I mean, they had some other embarrassing stuff from my childhood. I'm too ashamed to even talk about it. But I was in 5th grade and had nose surgery and had my adenoids removed. And then I was in 6th grade and I had nose surgery again and they said it was to remove the excess swollen tissues. And they said I was allergic to pollen or something like that. And so after elementary school, while I didn't have quote unquote behavior problems after sixth grade, like sixth and seventh grade on, I try to be on my best behavior and try to be a good kid. And then, in junior high and high school, I didn't really have medical problems like that. But my twin sister told me, but she didn't physically show me. But she said she read in our records that that me and her had such severe and bad medical problems that we weren't expected to live past 12 years old, that both of us weren't supposed to be expected to live past 12 years old. So one thing I didn't know was that they said that when I was a child, the foster mom was getting Social Security or SSI benefits and didn't spend it on me. And she was getting it for me. And so, it's okay for the foster family. They commit all kinds of financial, and the biological family commit all kinds of financial fraud. Like the foster sister Shelley, my twin sister told me about the foster sister Shelley claiming us on her income taxes when we were underage. But Shelley didn't like us. She hated us. We weren't even really, it's like the foster mom poisoned her head, but we didn't realize the agenda that they put us on drugs like psych meds and pit us against each other, separated us with the school. Ever since first grade, they kept us separated. So they didn't care. They didn't give a fuck. Me and my twin sister, we could have gotten a certain age and grew out of arguing, fussing, and fighting and not getting along. But they wanted to make a profit off of making us look crazy like that. But I'm wondering if all this didn't happen, if we would have been with the biological mom, Frances, if we could have been close, sharing the same car, living in the same house, both of us probably could have been more successful. But some people said that we were a threat in the powerhouse and that they had to get us while we were young, that they saw our potential and power and they got us while we were young and manipulated us so that, my twin sister even acknowledged that they over-medicated us because we knew too much. Or they felt threatened by us figuring stuff out and knowing too much and fighting back with the corrupt CPS and foster care system. So, junior high and high school, I really didn't have health problems like that. But I was always falling asleep in class. Also, when I was in sixth grade, what happened was I passed out in the mall one day, and the foster mom got really mad at me like it was my fault. And then the very next day, I sprained my ankle. And then when I sprained my ankle, the bitch laughed in my face, hard in my fucking face. And I think when I sprained my ankle, that took like maybe 2 months or so, between 2 and 4 months to heal. So, and the foster mom, when I passed out in the mall, she falsely accused me of faking for attention. I don't know what was the reason why I passed out. But also I had a moment where I was weak and shaky. And another time I think I had hives or I was itching really bad. And the foster mom kept falsely accusing me of faking sickness for attention. Well, I thought I was your favorite child. Yeah, I was she tricked me into thinking I was the golden child from sixth grade all the way until that incident happened with Monica and the Kraft family, and then I became targeted. Before then, Joni kind of was the golden child because they said that, well, the foster mom's fake cousin Nada said that Joni will always forever be the favorite because she's genetically related. That's why Joni had more privileges than we did. But Joni stayed punished too. Like, as I said, the foster mom, Joni used to be 19 years old, and the foster mom would whip her with a belt and put bloody welts on her. And Joni was 19 years old. When the foster mom, Ann, found out Joni was pregnant, I don't remember if I was an eyewitness or I overheard that the foster mom, when she found out Joni was pregnant with India, the first child, the foster mom supposedly banged her head up against the refrigerator or something like that. But I feel bad when I used to call Joni, when, I'd get mad and call Joni the dumb hoe Joni. But, if Joni was failing in school, or quote unquote dumb, because the foster mom's abuse. I heard that Mark and my twin sister I heard turned out gay because of foster care abuse. And so I was there when the foster mom used to say that tell my twin sister, and you wonder why they call you Butch and Dyke. And so the foster cousin Cricket, the foster mom's cousin Cricket, that's Joni's mom, biological mom Cricket. Critty. But Cricket, her real name's Critty, but they call her Cricket. And Cricket, I was wondering if Cricket and some of her family, some of her siblings, I was wondering if they're targeted individuals because they were outcasted and treated a certain way. They forced Cricket into the mental health system. The foster mom, Ann, was very abusive towards Cricket. Abusive and controlling. And Cricket used to beg to see her grandchild. And they probably falsely painted Cricket as one who didn't care about her own children. Or if they try to make it like as if Cricket was neglecting Joni and James and all that. And so and Tasha. But I don't know too much about Tasha, but that's Cricket's 3 kids. But Joni and James, I heard stories about them being neglected or something like that. I mean, I don't even know if Cricket was as terrible of a mother as they say. I never heard stories about Cricket being on drugs, but I heard she used to go to the bars. I don't know if that's true or not. And they say she used to get into bar fights and stuff. But they forced Cricket to see a psychiatrist and take medicine. They used to make like Cricket was crazy. Cricket was outcasted from a child. Like if you looked more black and didn't have that Creole look, they try to paint you to be crazy. Even though Cricket was light-skinned and had Asian slanted eyes, but she had black folks' hair. But, she didn't look more white like them, and her sisters. So, they looked more black, so they didn't get treated with that favoritism. But the foster mom acted like she loved black men. Well, how come your second husband was light-skinned and famous? Joseph Zigaboo Modelis. Joseph Paul Modelis. And then the son, Joe Jr., was the woman beater. And so Zigaboo used to, play in the band, that super famous band called the Funky Meters. So, very famous, Grammy Award winning and everything. So yeah, that foster mom, Adrian Felder, she got Masonic connections. They're always rich and living a high life. But the foster mom pretend like she financially struggling. Talking about some candy, allow me $20. But that's all I got, $20. And so with that fake allowance of $20, and then she would pick an argument with me for an excuse to justify, oh, excuse me, she would pick an argument with me for an excuse to justify punishing me, and I end up with no allowance. And then she'll try to make it like she want to punish you for months and months. And so my twin sister must have had that done to her, because then my twin sister was doing that to me after we became adults. So when I was 18, going to Nichols, like I was 17 years old, and Risperdal medication used to make me gain so much weight and piss on myself. Forced urination. And then Trazodone used to have me sleep like at least 20 hours a day going to college. And the psychiatric medications messed me up so bad I was forced to resign or do like a withdrawal from college, from school. And then they pressured and forced me to go back and said that, I would get in a whole bunch of trouble if I didn't continue college with the Pell Grants and everything. So then I continued going, and then the Pell Grants, it started to get too expensive, and the Pell Grant wasn't raising that much. And so I was forced to take out student loans. And I said I never wanted to go into debt. Never want, but I ended up being forced in high debt. But I was recently notified within the past couple of weeks. I was in Cincinnati, a couple of weeks ago when I found out that my credit score is raised back to perfect 700. I know it goes higher than 700, but 700 right on the dot. And they said my credit is back to being good after what happened almost 7 years ago with fake Sam in Los Angeles, that fake landlord. He lied on me and set me up and ruined my credit. So I'm glad my credit is back to quote unquote good credit now. Not like it's gonna do me any good. So I wrote about 5 blog posts, personal, earlier today, just random, just releasing my thoughts like I'm doing now. 5 different blog posts, and then and some of them I started to work on before I left Cincinnati, but 2 of them I started to work on before I left Cincinnati, and I finally got them done today. It was just personal, but I wrote, I was so sleep deprived, weak, and tired. So I wrote a very short story, and a couple of people told me that they like it. See, I ain't the worst writer in the world. So thanks y'all for y'all support. So this is how my day went. I did not set foot. I didn't even open the door. I did not set foot out this place at all. I looked out the window a couple of times, but I didn't set foot out this door. And what time? I think I woke about 6:30. Got maybe 4 hours of sleep. And then I ate the last of those tuna crackers. The tuna salad kit or whatever. And the last of those cookies for a first meal. Lunch food for breakfast is what I ate. Then I had breakfast food for lunch. I had the last of the oatmeal for lunch. So I had oatmeal for lunch. And, with the coconut oil and raw unfiltered honey and the Himalayan pink salt. So I tried a couple of times this evening to take a nap, just couldn't fall asleep. So it's much warmer in here now. And it was a warmer day today, and it's warmer in here now than it had been, Even this morning, I was kind of freezing. But this evening, I felt warm enough that I almost was going to take this hoodie off. So, I was productive and wrote a short story. That was work. I wanted to write 2 or 3, but the sleep deprivation got to me. It was too, like too. I was too sleep deprived. The sleep deprivation got to me, and so in addition to Anthony and a few other perps were making abusive, narcissistic, fake comments. Like the video that I did this past summer about showing y'all I could drive, the online perps were falsely talking about that I was doing something illegal and breaking the law. And I'm like, y'all really don't want me driving? And so they try to falsely say that, oh, she was looking more at the phone camera than on the road. But I wasn't out in traffic. I was in the parking lot at work, at the job. And it was just, and I didn't even drive far at all. I just wanted to demonstrate and show y'all I can drive. But I've seen a lot of you gang stalkers are way worse drivers. And if I'm not sleep deprived and stuff, I'm not a bad driver at all. I'm not a bad driver. But I need to get back on it, but I don't have access to a car. But abusive, narcissistic perps don't want me driving. And y'all are hypocrites. Y'all don't want me to drive, but y'all drive reckless and on the highway and make me feel unsafe in the car. Y'all be flying on the highway, blaring super loud music, flying and zigzagging, and but y'all the ones who drive reckless and drive dangerous, get in all kinds of car accidents, and tell me that I shouldn't be on the road. And then they ignorantly laugh and be like, yeah, I bet you follow all the road rules to a T, huh? And they act like they want to be envious and jealous. But I didn't realize the biological sister Ramona wanted me to rent a car just so she could set me up to die in a car accident. I think she was really trying to sacrifice, and I didn't know any better back then. I didn't catch on. But Ramona was trying to sacrifice me in a car accident. I didn't even realize that, she was very selfish and childish and immature, So I'm sitting here feeling like I don't want anything to do with any of the rest of I'm not going to say none of them. Almost all of the rest of the family members, I really don't want anything to do with them in life, my damn self. I don't care, especially if y'all perping. I don't care about your genetic features, your light skin, green eyes, whatever color, kind of hair. If you're an abusive, narcissistic perp, then you go fry in hell with your master Satan. So, like an abusive, narcissistic perp made a fake comment and falsely said I was breaking the law and doing something illegal. I'm like, well, they hired me to work. And so, how many perps, when perps are doing videos about me while driving, they're doing videos slandering me while driving, and they look back, they'll turn to the side, look back, and look all kinds of directions. But y'all just don't want me driving. So, they think I deserve to be punished with no car. I'm 39, almost 40 years old. And people with narcissistic personality, the same ones who call me fat and greedy, and got all the same stereotypical opinions about me, all of them have cloned opinions about me. They don't want me driving. They think I'm fat and greedy. They falsely accuse me of being attention-seeking and wanting everybody to cater to me. They think I'm the one who demands preferential treatment when, no, it's not me. It's the doggone disability. If I don't want you blasting loud music, you're hurting my ears. That's assault, and you're doing it on purpose. You should go to jail for that. Prison. Harsh prison. Like y'all think I deserve, I'm going to tell you, say, reverse it right back on. Y'all the ones who deserve the harsh punishment. Y'all talking about I need my ass whipped. I'm already getting my ass whipped being targeted. Is that worse? I mean, you think I need worse than being targeted? So, so Anthony and others, I'm like, damn, I can't even get peace and quiet. I mean, and so all that online harassment just made me feel too depressed to go out and do laundry like I originally thought to do. And it made me feel too depressed to go take a shower. And I forced dragged myself to push myself to write. And, even felt like I couldn't even do that. Excuse me. So for dinner, I had the leftover Chinese food. And I got mad because I'm like, wow, all this onions and like it was some curry beef with a whole bunch of onions and some other kind of vegetable. And I was very pissed because I'm like, damn, it's too many onions. But wow, there were white onions, but they tasted sweet. And I was like, well, some kind of curry beef with that same rice. And I'm like, well, this tastes good as fuck. It tastes really good. So I thought it tasted so good. But, I had half of the beef and rice. And, so I don't have no more breakfast food. No more snack, no more cookies. So all I have is, half of the beef and onions and rice. And the other half of the chicken, that nasty lemon chicken and rice. And also another container of egg drop soup. And that's all, and it's going to be eaten tomorrow. And that's all the food I have. So both yesterday and today, I didn't spend any money at all. Both online and in person, I did not spend any money at all. So tomorrow morning, I have to get up and try to go get the information straightened out on the rental agreement, because she put east and she was supposed to put west, but I got to double check. I think she was supposed to put west. And then after that, I need to try to see about going to get a P.O. box. And I don't know if I'll have enough time to go to the DMV and get my driver's license switched over. If I got to do all that and go to the bigger city, I also need to see about how to go about. I mean, I need to ask some questions about that transportation service. But if not, then I got to take an Uber to get into the bigger city to go take care of my business. And, I can't get it all done in one day. But I don't know how much I would need in Uber rides. But, for me to go to the DMV, the Social Security office, the food stamp and Medicaid or whatever office, and, and whatever other office to get business handled. So, as I said, that even if it's not emergency food stamps, it's not a guarantee for me to even get food stamps. And I hate that y'all put me under such pressure to get a job right away. And I'm letting y'all know, like, y'all falsely accused me of making excuses. Oh yeah, I did mention I had 2 strokes when I was 5. So and I developed Tourette's symptoms, I think, starting in 5th or 6th grade. And then, I guess it was full blown by the time of 7th grade. I used to get bullied, harassed, and laughed at by my tics and blinking my eyes and grimacing face and twitching my face. and like my Tourette's was really bad. So some people say that it's electronic weapons and forced speech disguised as Tourette's. So, I had nose surgery when I was 10 and when I was 11. And I don't know for sure if I was microchipped. But I had braces when I was a teenager. And I didn't get the wisdom teeth pulled out. I was 19 going on 20, or just turned 20 years old. But I had already had the ear, like my ear situation didn't start until after I had my braces. So I heard that some reasons for hyperacusis is that you might be microchipped, or I also suffered TMJ from the Tourette's and bruxism, tooth grinding, and TMJ. I don't think I have it nearly as bad, but look, when I open my jaw, you can hear it pop. Like that. And it was like that before I even got braces. So they also say another reason you would get hyperacusis or hypersensitive ears is they said poor orthodontic work. A third reason, they said all those psychiatric medications or whatever other medical experimentation. But they did something to me, and I get hated when I let people know that my ears are sensitive or I have this condition. They hate me even more. But some of this medical experimentation or this foster care experimentation for money and me being used as an experiment in a human guinea pig, a cash cow, guinea pig, whatever, And that's why I got all these problems, and y'all blame and fault me and call me crazy and everything. So they said basically, and also all these mercury toxic fillings in my mouth too. I heard that's a fourth reason you can have hypersensitive ears. Now I'm not crazy. I got like mercury poisoning. And then all that fluoride the toxic fluoride growing up. Toothpaste and psych medication and tap water and food or whatever else. So all that contribute to me being all kinds of screwed up. As I said, if I could get these mercury fillings out of my mouth, which I heard it costs a lot of money, and you have to mainly go to like Mexico or some other country to get them out of your mouth, because I heard that the insurance will pay for you to get them in your mouth, but not out of your mouth. And they want that poison in your mouth. And some people say that's another, like the vapors are leaking 24/7 for years. And that's why you end up having weakened immune system and everything else. So, poor diet and psychiatric medications growing up in foster care, that contributed. And we were always seeing the doggone dentist. That contributed, I heard that all that factors into why I'm obese now. Not necessarily that I'm a glutton to eat like a pig, but the online perps want to manipulate people to think that I'm just greedy and a pig, But, it hurts. It's very hurtful, the things that they say. The stuff they want to go out of their way to say the harshest things that they can find. And people have said that words hurt. And the Bible says that words hurt. People say that words hurt more than physical licks. So I've heard certain narcissistic relationships, where it be a woman or a man, that if they're narcissistically abusing you, if they don't put their hands on you, then they're telling you harsh words. They got some narcs that aren't physically abusive, but they'll murder you with their words, or leave you to think that they're about to hit you with their flaring tempers. That they want to be eternally angry for nothing. And they're popular and well liked and successful, but act like they're miserable and hate the world. So yeah, I got so much to do tomorrow, and scared that, afraid of, being low on money, but the thing is, I have to have the in-state Texas license plate. I'm sorry, why did I say a license plate? I meant to say driver's license for a lot of these jobs. I'm not sure if jobs will take me with a driver's license that's out of state. I just got that Cincinnati license plate thinking I was going to stay there, but then I found this place and came over here. So I'm going to bring my birth certificate anyway, but I shouldn't need to, because I ought to be in a system in Texas already, from when I used to live here. I don't know, because when I moved back to New Orleans, they said I didn't need all that, because they said from years ago I was already in a system, and they said that I still had the same driver's license number, from when I first got the learner's permit. But, they wanted me to stay as infantilized as possible and threatened by our potential success growing up. And then turned my twin sister evil and got her, being an abusive, narcissistic victim turned predator. But she went through more physical abuse, but I went through more psychological and mental and emotional abuse. But we have both had the abuse growing up. But a lot of people question whether or not the foster dad Al was touching on us when we were little. But I just remember when he would be right in front of the foster mom. I don't know, when he used to try to kiss us, I used to feel uncomfortable. I didn't like being, and I still don't like nobody kissing me. I don't like nobody to kiss me. I really don't like nobody to touch me. But back then I used to be outgoing, amiable, like to hug and shake hands. But I kept getting punished in foster care because they wanted me to force isolated. And, I would be punished for, or being told that that's bad or inappropriate behavior if I try to introduce myself and try to make friends with people. And they said that that's inappropriate. So they didn't want me hugging nobody, shaking no hands, being, outgoing. They forced me to, I used to be an extrovert, but through their abuse and punishments for me being an extrovert, I was forced to be shy and an introvert later on from, trauma and abuse. So till this day, I'm 39 years old, and it was like the reverse. Like, I'm a shy introvert, and I'm a loner, a homebody. I stay at home, but let me tell y'all something. With the job thing, why y'all expect me to get a job so quick? And this town is very small. And if I got a job in a bigger city, it might require for me to have to take an Uber or a Lyft every day. And they want to say, get a job, even if it's a part-time job, make sure you get a job. I'm like, well, I ain't got no control over that. I did my part in submitting applications. Today is Easter holiday, but guess what? Y'all gonna think I'm crazy that I submitted, I'm pretty sure, about 7 or 8 applications today. And that's all that I could find. Like the other day, I filled out 11. And then the time before that, I don't remember how many I filled out. But they have very small job opportunities. And it's like almost all the jobs that are advertised, especially on Craigslist, a lot of the jobs advertised is mainly CDL truck driving jobs. Class A CDL truck driving. But some people say that if you don't have your own business that you run, because I heard certain professors targeting individuals or entrepreneurs who run their own businesses, and I wish I could do that. I wish I could be an author. I am an author, but I wish I could be more successful with it or make a living off of it. And so but people, they're willfully stingy and evil that they wouldn't even donate me 50 cents for compensation if you like my doggone short story. So but anyway, so I mean, they're making me feel ashamed and also making me feel like that pressure to get a job now. And it's like, well, if you're blacklisted and targeted, how would you think that you can expect me to get a job so quick? Or they'll tell you that you don't have enough faith in God. But so yeah, as I said, if I can't get around, this is a city where you definitely need a car. This is far from like Cincinnati and New Orleans. Pensacola is like half rural, half, but and like Greenville, South Carolina, and I think Denton, Texas, where the buses did not run on Sundays, and they had limited hours like 6 a.m., 7 or 8, like between 5 and 7 a.m., all the way till like 6 p.m., and then the buses stopped running, and you just suck out of luck. So some people say that being targeted, the best kind of job you should get is a truck driving job. But I've been hearing more about women being truck drivers. Even young, like 18, 19, 20 years old. But if my sleep can get straightened out, I mean, my chronic sleep issue due to the targeting, if it can get straightened out, then I passed the test in my hometown, New Orleans, and got that chauffeur's license. I had a Class D chauffeur's license in New Orleans with the cab driving. I had to for the cab driving job. But when I got to Pensacola, they said that there was no such thing. So I had to get a regular driver's license. And then so I don't even know if I can get a Class D chauffeur's license. And they don't really have, I don't know if they have that kind of license here. But as far as the Class A, like a lot of people were encouraging me to go get a CDL, Class A CDL, and go be a doggone truck driver, and you could be at peace. But I've been too poor all these years. And I was living in Denton, Texas, and I wanted to become a cab driver, but I never had the money. I never had the money to put up, and then I probably would have been taken advantage of and screwed over, or probably even robbed, and then they would have blamed me, saying you're an easy target and everything. So people would tell me to my face, you're an easy target, or you easy prey, or they have every right to take advantage of you because you're easy prey. Or they saw you get what you deserve because they saw you coming. The narcissistic women love to say that if I got taken advantage of or trying to buy a car. Now, like, who says that? Where is this rule at that if you're a woman, you have to get somebody you know or get a man to come with you to buy a car? But the foster mom waited till after we made such a mistake. Well, I took my twin sister and her husband with me when I went to get my car, and I still got taken advantage of. That Hyundai Elantra. And they called me stupid for wanting a new car. Well, how come you can have a nice, brand new, pretty BMW convertible and you got it when it was new? Luxury. But for me to want, in 2005, I wanted, I wasn't even trying to get a Hyundai Elantra, but I ended up loving that car. It was a black 2005 Hyundai Elantra. And it had, I think, 21 miles on the car. It was under 30 miles, so it's pretty new. And the guy who sold me the car was an abusive, narcissistic, fake scam perp who took advantage of me and screwed me over really bad and left me with months of suicidal depression. Raoul Zahur. He was half Middle Eastern, half Honduran or something like that. He was very narcissistic and treated me like I didn't have the right to refuse to buy the car. And he forced me and bullied me and used manipulative fear tactics and lost his temper when I attempted to walk away. He tried to tell me, no, you can't walk away. And it didn't cross my mind to think, let me get the manager, let me get the supervisor and show how this bitch is acting. My original car that I wanted was a yellow 2-door 2005 Chevy, was it a Chevy Cobalt? Yeah, I think that's what I wanted. But I ended up with a 4-door. But I loved the Hyundai Elantra. It was very comfortable. But in 2006, right after I graduated from college, I was forced to abandon the car and leave it at the foster mom's house, fleeing abuse. The foster mom and that other foster boy, James, not Joni's brother, James, but the other foster boy, James. 17-year-old child put his hands on me, and they lied on me. It was that's another video because I'm almost out of my space. So, and then people, like, if I get taken advantage of, narcissistic abusers want to say, you have proven time and time again that you're not responsible, you're not mature. Well, I was abused growing up and was not allowed to stand up for myself. But now I got off those psych medications, got stronger, and start be able to fight back. And y'all hate that. I was targeted even when I was ignorant and compliant and didn't know the truth. I was compliant with the psych medication, and y'all falsely say, you ain't been taking your medicine. I could take it right in front of your face, and you forced me to raise my tongue and look all in my mouth, and I swallow it, and they said, you didn't swallow it. Yes, I did. No, you didn't. And then you want to force me to take another one, and then still lie and say she don't take her medicine. While y'all killing and poisoning me. So, and then not fake and know-it-all narcissistic abuser would be like, you ain't been taking your medicine. That's because you ain't been taking your medicine. Like, if I say that, oh, I got raped or whatever, then they say that's because you ain't taking your medicine. Now, they had this lady that said, well, I think it was at the RAINN network with 2 N's. She was an abusive, narcissistic perp. I didn't get any help being trafficked and raped. And she said, well, if you would have took your psychiatric medications, then you wouldn't have made the decision to put yourself in those situations. But I remember when I got raped in 2003 or 2004 or something, I was going to UNO. It was and the lady at the infirmary or whatever, she said, well, next time, don't put yourself in those positions. Now, like, that's just cold-hearted. And then when it comes to narcissistic women doing victim blaming, they will say that there's no such thing as manipulation. I mean, a guy manipulating or threatening you or trying to make you fearful, trying to make you scared. But I came a long way, especially with this targeting, helping me to be bolder and more courageous and fight back against anybody trying to violate me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Because I used to always get told that I allow people to walk all over me and treat me like a doormat. But when I stand up, I get punished. It's just like me standing up to Anthony, I'm the one who was wrongfully punished by losing subscribers. I was just trying to defend myself. Cyber defend myself. Because that's what the attacks come cyber. So here I go trying to cyber defend myself. And I get the wrongful punishment of losing subscribers as a form of punishment. And I'm 39 years old, and y'all fake asses want to give thumbs up or thumbs down based on if the topic is positive or negative. But other professed targeted individuals, they can express being pissed off, mad, angry, or talk about something distressing. But you'll still give them a thumbs up and say, oh, that's the best footage I've seen in the TI community. Well, when I got clear, concrete footage of that one headlight car walking right up on me, I showed other professed targets in the TI community. They all ignored and dismissed me and didn't give a shit. And they tell me I should shut up and ignore. That's like forcing you to tolerate your torture and abuse. But then y'all cry about being tortured and abused and crying out for help. So earlier today there was another perp. I don't know how many perps I had, but it was another perp that tried to falsely say, money, money, money. That's all you talk about is money, money, money. And then falsely say that there's a whole bunch of people on YouTube who hate you and don't like you, and you're the biggest scammer, and this and that, or whatever. I'm like, y'all don't even know me. But it's a miracle that anybody take me seriously and know I'm telling the truth. As I said, next month, if I can either get a job or food stamps, or even get more support from my writings, that would be less money I have to cry out for to survive. And I was like, damn, I'm kind of stuck, but I have a roof over my head, but I don't have really that much transportation, and lack of transport, and I suffered that too in Denton, Texas. Lack of transportation and money so many years. And even back then, I just suffered. I didn't even realize that there was a such thing that you can go on the internet and ask a bunch of strangers for financial support and help and all that. But I busted ass and living in Denton, Texas. They sabotaged. I couldn't work. They kept sabotaging every job I would get. And I was, they pressured me and harassed and bullied me about student loans and other debt. And that also kept me, and I dealt with family abuse. All that kept me just depressed. I was so depressed. And, stayed in the house with an apartment, dealing with an abusive, narcissistic perp neighbors and everything. The fake mental health people trying to control my life. I was a grown adult and they try to control me and belittle me and talk to me like I'm a child, a punished child with no rights, trying to control how they want me to clean my house their way, a certain way, when it was already clean. And I think they were all perps. Abusive, narcissistic perps, and highly narcissistic, especially that fake abusive, narcissistic Beverly Twiggs bitch. Her name is Beverly Twiggs. Twiggs. Beverly Twiggs. I think I heard she was living in Oklahoma, but working in Texas or something. A mental health nurse who delusionally, like, she tried to say I had to have that service and didn't have a right to refuse. I'm like, I figured y'all full of shit. And Miss Beverly and other certain abusive, narcissistic, fake mental health people, the moment I see their face, I will foam at, not physically, but psychologically and mentally foam at the mouth like a scared dog, traumatized dog. Shit my pants psychologically and mentally, and be just traumatized at their presence. Now, the first day Miss Beverly came in my apartment with an agenda to psychologically, like, you a mental health nurse, y'all supposed to be helping us feel better, not punishing us. So she come up in my house and threatened, and the instant what she started doing, she started snooping through my journals, my written journals. She started snooping through my stuff in front of my, like this complete fucking stranger. I put a stop to letting her come to my house. Even before I found out about the truth about the Illuminati, the CPS and foster care corruption, the mental health corruption, everything. I put a stop to her coming to my fucking house, my apartment. And, she came and snooped through my belongings in front of my face. And she threatened to have me eat. I'm going to have you evicted and homeless. And then she said, you are living in chaos. And then, because I was depressed and extremely depressed, suffering depression, and you want to punish me even more and talking about I'm going to have you evicted and homeless? And then when her got into an argument, she said, I never said that. I said, well, how can I get out of this? I'm like, I don't want this for service. She said, oh, you have to have this service. No, I don't. I got rid of her. I got rid of the fake social worker, the other fake mental health nurse. I got a replacement, and it was a black lady. I don't remember her name, but I got rid of all. Well, I think her name was Lolita or something like that. But I had to get rid. And a man named Dale McEwen. He was a fake social worker, and there was a white lady. I don't remember her name. And I'm done with just tolerating narcissistic abusers using words to make me feel like shit. Make me feel like and I know I'm not the worst human being that walked the planet. Y'all got more respect for the devil himself. Go ahead and worship him, fake motherfuckers. Let me see. Hold up. Okay. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I can have enough space for 2 hours on the phone. What time is it now? 10:49 p.m. So, as I said, it's like if I don't get food stamps this week, and which I don't think I will be able to, I won't be, for me to go to the DMV or try to get the P.O. box or whatever. That's why I'm trying to get help. I got the information in the description box. I updated the fundraiser in the update section. I updated it. I updated the description box on YouTube. And I, updated a few little things, But I'm sitting here feeling like I can't believe, for the moment, I can't believe I'm not homeless anymore. I can't say anymore because the perps are on standby. They threatened me cyberly. They would have done it to my face, but they threatened me cyberly to find out where I live and destroy where I live and make me back homeless again. So then they falsely accused me of wanting to be homeless. I'm like, y'all keep harassing and fucking with me, making somebody damn crazy. Y'all driving me nuts. I ain't nuts. Y'all driving me to this point. Naturally, Candy Grand Prix is not nuts. So, So yeah, the perps definitely they're mad at me for getting a place, and they don't want me to get back on my feet. If they do find out that I got food stamps, I'm gonna tell that you're scamming. I'm gonna report you to the food stamp office, and they'll already be threatening me with the Social Security. Oh, I called the Social Security office and showed them your YouTube videos, and I showed them how much of a scammer you are. And that ain't it's not true, but it ain't your damn business either. You know, if I could get $150 or more in food stamps, then I promise you, I wouldn't come on here and be like, I need help with money for food. Or if I had a job, I wouldn't need to. You know? So, yeah, I'm sitting here feeling like I still feel homeless. I still feel homeless. And I feel like, even though I accomplished something good, but they're manipulating me into feeling like I'm a child who ran away from home, or did some, or they making it like I'm a child who did something I didn't have any business doing. Like, they're mad that I accomplished, with the help of y'all, the support of people. They are mad that I accomplished with y'all help. You know, they're mad that I accomplished, getting off the streets and getting my own place without selling my soul, without selling out. So, yeah, the storage space on his phone is definitely running out. So, I know this was like a sensitive talk, but thanks for listening to me. And as I said, you know, I don't know how much to transfer. Like, whatever y'all can pitch in and help me out with trying to get a P.O. box and trying to get the driver's license and some transportation. And as I said, you know, trying to get food. This is a very small town here. So I don't know what it's like with the rural bus service. I don't know if it comes over here. If it doesn't, then I have to take an Uber. So, if Uber Eats come over here, then Uber probably should come over here. But DoorDash, no DoorDash over here. And I only got 2 or 3 spots for Uber Eats. But that Asian food place, I don't think I'll be ordering Uber Eats really no more. I did that because the electricity went out and I wasn't even sure if the places around here were open. And I explained that. Otherwise, I had planned to go to Dollar General. But see, me eating Dollar General food or Dairy Queen or whatever, my body was feeling weak and I felt shitty. So, you know, I need to feel healthy and strong so I can be able-bodied and productive and work. You know, but as I said, with my hypersensitive ears, it's the biggest handicap right here. With the loud noise out there. And then I'm better able to do it, but I used to have a big hard time standing on my feet for a long time. But as long as my body is alkalizing, which I think my body's in an acidic state, acidic and inflammation. But if my body can be put in an alkaline state, I wouldn't feel pain. I can stand on my feet for 12 hours. So thanks for listening to me. I got the information in the description box. Y'all can even act like you're supporting my writings or something. Any way to get me help, you know, to get fully back on my feet. You know, I got this place and the money is very tight. I mean, this place takes up more than half my income. And now that I got this place, the online perps are harassing me saying, oh, you got your place to live and you should have no reason to be continue to beg for money. Or, oh, you got the place and you're still begging for money, huh? That ain't y'all business. Leave me alone. So, you know, I got to get the Texas driver's license and I got to get a P.O. box. I mean, that's the only way I could get mail. They don't have this place where you can get physical mail here. They said that you have to have a P.O. box because they said it's more like a hotel kind of setting. And it says in the rental agreement, I think I got to double check, but I think I remember it saying that, you can't really get mail here or something, but I got to double check. I don't remember. But it's more like a hotel kind of thing and not, it's run like a hotel, I guess. But it's not like an apartment. That's why there's no contract, no lease or whatever. It's month to month. And, I'm in here. It's just that my finances will be just very, very, very tight. So I definitely got to go because my storage is gone. So thanks. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be tomorrow morning by the time this uploads. But, whatever y'all can pitch in and help. As I said, I'm going to I need help with I need help with the transportation to get, to this place, that place. I only got 2 outfits of clothes. Look at my hair, So, I got like 2 outfits of clothes and I don't have that much food left over and stuff like that. So, thanks for listening to me. I'm going to go now.